Hell. Don't say go, motherfucker. Hello and welcome to this little thing that we like to call 7 Days Makes 1 Week, the inaugural episode. My name is Fred Papernick. I'm here in producer Zach's living room. Immediately to my left is Niko Ursik, and on the other side of the living room we have Pierre Royale. You guys will be joining us every week just to discuss the week that was, the week that will be, and everything in between. How are you guys doing this week?
You're very well, Fred. How are you, man?
I can't complain, man. It's just another day on paradise.
Minus the weather.
Yeah, the weather kind of sucks, but that means producer Zach gets some work. Producer Zach's identity will remain a mystery. Maybe when we get 100,000 Patreon subscribers, we can show the world what he looks like.
Might be fucking 100 years down the road.
I say we catch up on the week. We want to lead us off, Fred, here? Yeah.
Yeah, we can start with the main thing that everybody's talking about in the world, hard to avoid, the Ukrainian-Russia conflict. News has kind of plateaued in the sense that it's a war. Things are going as wars go. Everybody's fighting. Ukraine's waiting for more resources. No one's really coming to their aid. And Russia's bombing the fuck out of them. But the new news that has come out that is apparently world's richest man, first, second, third, Elon Musk... World's richest man on paper, Elon Musk wants to fight world's richest man not on paper, Vladimir Putin, in a boxing fight, and says he'd only use one hand. Which,
I think he said his left hand, too, as well. Yeah.
Elon Musk, I assume, is kind of a pussy, so I'm pretty sure Vladimir Putin would fuck him up, but...
Yeah, Vladimir Putin's ex-KGB.
He's also very short.
Vladimir is?
Stocky, man. That guy is, thick.
Yeah, man. I feel like that's like a publicity stunt, or I don't know.
Yeah, he's just looking for
Yeah, I don't know what Elon's trying to do with that, and it'll never happen. But
don't you think that would be really evident though with this, where a lot of people are sort of cashing in? You know what I mean? With the Chelsea owner and everything, everybody's getting publicity over this. Anybody who's related to Russia is getting mad publicity about this.
Yeah, right? But I mean, Roman Abramovich isn't getting positive publicity.
No, I didn't say it was positive.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Any news is good news,
right? Yeah, it sells, right?
What did they say in the?
If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah. I don't know what you're trying to say. I can't think of it either.
Yeah. If your name's in the paper, whether it's good or not, at least your name's in the paper.
Any news is good news, or whatever.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyways, with the war, I mean, in terms of fake news, though, there's just so much going on. I mean, do you have any? I'm sure you have a lot to say about it. Yeah.
I'm curious as to why Russia, being such a big army, hasn't actually infiltrated Ukraine to the extent that they should have by now.
I heard it's mud or something like
that.
I
think tanks
changing
just roll slowly.
Seasons. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at some point, somebody was saying the other day that, they're really holding them back. Good for Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. It's like, there shouldn't be any holding back. Ukraine is so small and Russia is so big and has these resources that they should just be able to plow through Ukraine.
I think to an extent it's like a guerrilla warfare type thing. Like the United States has the most massive army, the biggest guns, the most sophisticated. But when they go to places like Vietnam or they go to the Middle East, it's like they have the upper hand of knowing the layout of the land. They know where to hide. They know where to funnel you so that they can fuck you up in those certain situations. Like guerrilla warfare is just to be super unpredictable and strike out of nowhere and stuff like that. So they probably set a lot of traps and stuff like that. The Ukrainians, they probably know okay, these Russian people are going to have to come down this highway with their tanks or something like that. So they just when it funnels, they set up a massive fucking.
Well, I heard it's a lot
bombardment.
I heard. Sorry to jump in here, but I heard it has a lot to do with the weather right now. And a friend of mine, he's in the military. He told me it's once the spring hits, that sort of area, those tanks can roll in a lot easier, because they ran into some bad weather and they had to get re-oiled or whatever. But can we even believe any of these reports, though?
I try not to believe anything.
Yeah. take everything with a grain of salt and a
Well,
shot of penicillin.
I try to. People say, "Oh, well, you're gonna watch Russian news or you're gonna listen to Putin. He's a fucking bad man." It's like I'm the type of guy that wants to read the one side, read the other side, and take an unbiased opinion, and then form my own opinion, whether it is the same opinion as the people around me or not. That's just forming my own opinion on the situation, and not specifically just listening to the media, Western media, because I feel like Western media has lied to us for multiple years, and
decades, bro.
exactly decades. So it's, people are like, "Oh, you're gonna listen to Putin, that guy's," you know what I mean? And it's just like, you can't automatically assume that everything that you are hearing and listening is legitimate, because
And this does seep into the
liars.
world of sport. It does too, like with the Russians. I know, like it's sort of course, it seeps into sort of every facet of life, right? But with what's, been made pretty clear is they're cutting off ties with like Russia in terms of like Bauer, and other hockey companies, and the KHL is no longer affiliated with the NHL as of now. Like, I would love some of your thoughts on that, because it's starting to affect like some of our superstars that we have here, like in the NHL. Like, for example, Ovechkin, which I found very, very interesting. A couple of weeks ago, he denounced the war, but the next day he posts a Instagram photo with him next to Putin. Now, if you look at his Instagram his Instagram profile right now, it's still there. And that's his official one. I'm wondering if he's afraid of being poisoned or something. Do you know what I mean? Because there's Russian spies everywhere,
probably.
You guys can call me out. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I know Fred's got something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh,
go
no,
ahead.
finish, Nico. I'll get there after.
Well, I was just gonna say, like,
Were you gonna say what the fuck is speaking out gonna do anyways? You motherfuckers pretend to care about, but all you do is put a flag on your profile picture and watch the news. That ain't doing shit, and speaking out isn't going to either stop being so gullible.
isn't going to
You-
stop. Isn't going.
Oh, that's
It is
from
Yeah, you need to work
Nico.
on your punctuation a little
Yeah,
bit. But
my
anyway, I'm reading a
punctuation's
post that Nico made. Scroll down just a little bit there, Zach.
It's
just scroll down a little. Oh, you saved the
It's
picture.
screenshotted.
That is
okay.
100% true. At the end of the day,
Hold on. The thing that you were replying to is that I was Facebook post that the NHL and Alexander Ovechkin's quote unquote "we just play hockey" defense grows
More glaring.
more glaring, pardon me, as the bodies pile up in Ukraine's bombed out cities. That was your reply to that.
Yeah, so I was more or less just like, they're trying to use these celebrities as propaganda tools to pull on your heartstrings so that you show more sympathy. Like I said in a couple other episodes ago, they're trying to pull on your heartstrings so that you show more sympathy towards Ukraine, and it makes you hate Russia even more. So with that being said, you putting a Ukrainian flag in your profile picture, that does nothing. That just shows that you are following the media, you believe what the media says, you want
your friends not to think you're a piece of shit, or you want your friends to think you're like,
yeah.
I don't know.
What if
Woke.
you have family that's Ukrainian though and everything?
If you got family that's Ukrainian and that are in Ukraine suffering right now, yes, I can understand.
So there's a list that you like a checklist then for that.
Yeah,
Alberta's
for sure.
home
Well, no.
to so many Ukrainians.
the
But I would just hope those people were doing more than making a Facebook post. Like, for instance, I have family. We don't even have family in Ukraine, but I have family. Like, we are Ukrainian descent, and I have family that did, like, their kids are, like, 9 and 6 or something like that, or 9 and 11 or something. And they did, like a bottle drive. They went and picked up bottles from all their friends and family. So, like, if you're of that hair, like, what Nico's trying to say is that, like, that doesn't do fuck all. And he's not wrong. Making a little thing is like, yeah, it shows people you're
Oh,
supporting.
I never told him he was
But
wrong.
that really,
Absolutely.
I didn't say you did.
Yeah.
But what he was saying is that, like, that doesn't do fuck all. I'm just, even if you are Ukrainian, even if you moved here from Ukraine 3 weeks before the fucking war broke out, making a Facebook, that's like Zach putting a Ukrainian flag up right here on his wall. Like,
Well, it's
that's
like
fucking
putting-
cool.
Just so that the support, or just so that the viewers can see it
Yeah.
and show that Zach stands with it, which then makes the viewers think like, oh yeah. we
Yeah, like
like
if
this
he's
guy
doing
even
that
more.
without making a donation or out doing anything like that, then it's
Yeah.
just like smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? It's just for
Pretend.
sights and sounds.
It's pretend.
Yeah.
And like when it comes to these celebrities, that's why these celebrities have so much influence on the middle class and the lower class that's why people are being shunned for not speaking out, when in all reality these players are not political figures. They are hockey players. Just because they play hockey and are from Russia doesn't mean they have to be for or against it. They could be completely against it, but that doesn't mean they have to come out and say that they are completely against it. It's just you don't have to. But now if you don't, you are. Oh, he agrees with Putin.
There's a lot of people drinking the Kool-Aid, is what you're
Exactly.
saying, right?
He agrees
Yeah.
with Putin. Well, this is the thing is, look at the. How come we don't hear anything about COVID anymore? COVID is completely gone. Now all we hear about is Russia. This is the new story, the new topic. It's worldwide. It's taken over everything completely. And that seems to happen every once in a while. There's a big old news story that comes out. It takes over the whole world and everybody jumps on the train as quickly
And
as,
drinks the Kool-Aid.
essentially as quickly as it came. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like people are, I don't want to say they're being brainwashed, but they're easily manipulated by the media. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Hitler or one of his cronies that said, if you tell the same lie for up to 2 months, like a minimum of 2
Goebbels.
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goebbels, yeah.
Yeah.
You tell the same lie for up to two months, minimum 2 months, these people will start to believe it.
It's called, he was the minister of propaganda.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, it's unfortunate.
The thing that's kind of like a double standard when it comes to these athletes speaking out is that, like, you're never going to appease everybody. Like, if you think about a couple years ago, LeBron James came out talking about, like, police killing people and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. And then some female politician or news anchor or something in the States, like, told him shut up and dribble, right? Like, so that means, like, don't talk about political shit. You're a fucking basketball player. Shut the fuck up and dribble. But then he doesn't talk about, like, the Uyghurs in China. And everyone's like, oh, he just does not doing that so that he can make money because he has so much money in invested in, like, China and how much that they profit him. So it's like, oh, okay, so this guy he wants to speak out about one thing. You tell him to shut his mouth and do his job. But he doesn't want to speak out about something else. And you, like, make this big controversy about it. So, like, what the fuck is Alexander Ovechkin supposed to do, man? Like, the guy's wife and kids are in Russia. We know that Putin makes people disappear. It's not a fucking mystery. Not a hidden thing that people can die in Russia, and there's not really much you can do about it. They had to smuggle Evgeny Malkin out of the fucking country, and that was like 10, 15 years ago. So it's not like everything's peachy keen jelly bean over there. So what the fuck's he supposed to do being in... Oh, and not only is he from Russia, the fucking guy lives in Washington. And not even like the guy... Like, the guy lives in the capital of the States
That I always
for the
found
enemy
very,
of, like, the place
very-
where he's from. You know what I mean? Like, he could get touched over there. His family could get touched over there, and he could get fucked over here.
It's incredibly compelling.
I feel like the reason why LeBron was told to shut up and dribble is because he was coming out against North America.
Donald Trump is, I guess, what it
Donald
was.
Trump or whoever. It's just North America in general. You say something bad about North America, you're immediately shunned. You say something bad about Russia, you're praised. You know what I mean? And that's the media propaganda. You come out against the propaganda machine, and they're gonna shun you. They're gonna put you down. They're gonna tell you to shut up and dribble. That's not your That's not your fight to be in. Whereas now they're saying, we need you to go against the enemy. We need you to say something now. But last year or the year before, you weren't allowed to say anything only because it's against North America.
Yeah, just scroll up a little bit, Zach. Journalist Laura Ingram said she was not interested in the political advice from quote unquote, someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. First off, he gets paid by endorsements. He gets like not that much from the Lakers to bounce a ball, but whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the number one job in America, the appointed person, is someone who doesn't understand the people. The athlete said. I believe this is actually is it LeBron James or Kevin Durant? It is LeBron James. The number one job in America, the appointed person, is someone who doesn't understand the people, the athlete said at one point during the interview, adding that some of the president's comments are laughable and scary, which is also true. But you can't... So hold on. You don't want to hear political views from someone who makes $100 million to bounce a ball, but you want to hear war views from a guy that makes, I don't know, $12 million to shoot a puck?
That's that double standard, man.
Like, it makes no sense whatsoever.
And the reason why I think it makes no sense is because one is Russia. The United States hates Russia. The other one is America, talking about America. And you can't put down America on American media. You know what I mean? If LeBron James was on Russian news saying this shit, that whatever he said, they wouldn't say shut up and just dribble the basketball. They would say, yeah, I agree with you. This should not be happening. But since it's North America, it's just the way it is.
Because as much as it is a war on the ground, it's also an economic war, and it's also like a propaganda or publication war too, right? Like so Russia handed out a script to all of their like famous TikTokers, all their famous influencers, to read this script out that was like pro Putin and pro the war. So they're trying to get like the young people on their side of their country doing that. So America wants their people to do the same thing. You know what I mean? And the United States started to get hated on for like how they were policing the world, quote unquote. And then their whole army had another I can't think of the word, but they had a new like mantra they had to live by, and it was like more about like changing hearts and minds of people as opposed to just going over there and fucking everybody up.
The thing about
To win hearts and minds or something. So that's kind of what people want to do. You want to be the bad guy at war, but you need the support of people too to be a bad guy.
And that's what propaganda is actually all about.
Exactly.
Really. Yeah.
Exactly. So what I was going to say is, yeah, Putin doesn't lie about the way he controls his country. You do what he says, blah blah blah. Whereas in the United States, they lie about what they do, and they just feed you propaganda to change your mentality into believing what they want, opposed to ruling with an iron fist and you being fearful of not agreeing with the leader. Whereas in North America, they just psychologically change your mind through propaganda, and all of a sudden you're on the train. You jumped on the train, and nobody forced you to do it, but you just kept hearing the same thing over and over repeatedly, and slowly something changed in your brain where you're like, yeah, this is a good idea. We should go get those guys.
It's like the Cat Williams stand-up joke where he says, CNN will never say that they're going to bomb exactly who they're bombing. They'll give it another word that we don't really know. And his joke is they labeled them insurgents. So when you're sitting on your couch, you're like, oh, 7 insurgents died today? Fuck, I don't even know one insurgent. You can kill all of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to notice that. But if you said, like, you know, it's like an easy way to not say, like, 10 men, women, and children died today.
10 ground soldiers.
Yeah.
It's like dehumanizing them.
It dehumanizes it, yeah. And then there's like sports washing too, which is like a really fucked up thing. Like Saudi Arabia in public fund just bought the Premier League team Newcastle United a couple months ago. And this last weekend, the Saudi Arabian government killed like 81 men. They like executed 81 people. Pull that up. Saudi Arabian government execution. 81 right there.
You know, how come
Over what?
I don't even know. I just remember. I just was hearing about it. How like there's flags being waved in Newcastle, but at the same time, they're like the government that
Can you
is
pull up-
funding their team.
Can you go back to the headline, please? Cute. Saudi Arabia executes anyone who forged an abandoned Mohammed. Trying a glimpse of what Saudi justice looks like.
You should probably read that out loud.
Saudi Arabia executes 81 people in show of force by an emboldened Mohammed bin Salman. The deaths provided a glimpse of what Saudi justice looks like after the West didn't hold MBS account for killing of dissident Jamal Khashoggi.
Do you guys know that story?
We
That's
do
the
not.
Turkish journalist, right?
That was a dissident. He fled the country, and then
Yeah.
he was writing stuff and tweeting
Oh,
about them.
I'm familiar
and then he
with
was
that
killed
story.
inside the embassy.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
murdered
there's-
in
Stabbed
there.
to death.
There's video of him going into the embassy
Yeah,
and
I
no
saw that
video of
video.
him ever coming out, but suitcases or something being
Yeah,
brought
I
out
saw that
after,
video, and I saw that footage. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh boy, 81 people.
On so I'm pretty sure Newcastle played. I don't remember Everton, and the day that
They
this
did,
happened on Saturday, the Saudi government killed 81 people in a single mass execution, despite recent assurances from the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman that Saudi Arabia was making important legal reforms. The death provided a glimpse at what Saudi justice looks like now that MBS has been emboldened by Western governments that have failed to hold him accountable for the killing of Saudi descent and journalist Jamal Khashoggi, as well as numerous other crimes. So, like, sports washing's fucked up, too, and, like, I think that's propaganda, too.
You bet. Absolutely.
You want to hear something crazy about MBS? So before all this happened, he was friends with Jeff Bezos. I mean, I don't know if they're friends, but they shared texts or whatever.
Yep.
So they were able to infiltrate his phone via spyware, and that's how the whole him having the new girlfriend thing came out, and that's why he got divorced. True story.
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos of Amazon.
That's wild.
Damn.
Jeffrey Bezos.
I was not familiar with that.
Lizard.
Thanks to our producer Zach. Yeah.
All these people are lizards.
Anyway, you know, I was.
Are you trying to say that Alexander Ovechkin is a lizard?
I don't know about him.
It would explain the quality of that clapper from the top of the circle. I mean, we haven't really seen that before. Maybe Brett Hull was a lizard, too.
You never know.
Steven
So
Stamkos.
how? I mean, we're gonna come back to this like probably weekly, right? Like talking about what's going on in the world, obviously, because it's 7 days makes 1 week. But I don't know. Like last week, I was all fucked up because of daylight savings time. How about you guys? Yeah.
I felt great, to be honest. I was happy to have an extra day or extra hour of daylight towards the end of the day. Going home at 6 o'clock or 6:30 sure made it feel like it was a little bit earlier. So I didn't mind it too much, but I still got to get up early every freaking day. So it doesn't really matter.
That'll never change, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. To be
I think
honest.
daylight savings time's dumb zell, but whatever.
I think that we should literally just keep the extra hour. And
I don't care which one you pick, fall time or springtime. Just one or they. Farmers can wake themselves up and start or stop work whatever the hell time they want. I don't have to change my clock because of what time you want to go to work.
That is true. But it's all about, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. I was going to say it's all about the sunlight, but
You know
the sun rises whenever it's going to rise.
Yeah, that means
regardless
you
of what
got to
time.
go to work at that
Yeah,
time. That doesn't mean
regardless
I
of-
got to go to
yeah.
work at that time.
Regardless of what time it is, the sun is going to rise and set at whatever time it's.
For me, it's great. I love twilight hours playing golf, right? So you get an extra hour at
that's
daylight,
another
you know?
reason why I like that.
But you
idea.
don't get an
Absolutely.
extra hour at daylight. It's just 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
You
they
could
just
you could
changed the
still
time.
do the exact same things to the exact same hour. What time it says on your watch doesn't really make 1 hour of difference. It's not really that. It's just an inconvenience. As far
Time
as
is
I'm
like the
concerned.
biggest form of currency, though.
As in, if once you spend it, you don't get it back. Yeah, but you don't
Bitcoin is
lose. You don't
actually-
actually lose or gain an hour. There's still 24 hours in a day.
So
Yes.
you
With if the time didn't change, you would end golf at 9:30 instead of 10:30.
well, you can't
Big
play
fucking
golf
deal.
at 10:30
Why not?
because it's too dark.
Kind of
Yeah.
getting in the middle
So
of summertime.
the time that the sun goes down, is when you have to stop playing golf. That has nothing to do with what the time on your watch says.
That is true.
Those two things do not. You're like, oh, we get to play golf later. No, you don't. I hate to break this to you.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just don't look at your watch.
Yeah.
Problem fucking solved.
I never
Okay, the
do.
sun's going down. Looks like we're about to wrap this fucking golf game up soon.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's still a bunch of sunlight. It looks like we can get a couple more holes in. You don't gain or lose anything. There's 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week,
So
365.
you're saying it's all sort of relative then?
Yo, they make it seem like you gain, but you actually don't. Like like he was saying, it's whether the time changes or not, the sun still sets and rises whenever it wants to.
Every day.
Every day. It's not like because we change the time that the sun changes the time or the sun sets different. I guess it does because we go off of time, and time is kind of I don't want to say concrete, but that's
relative. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, relative. The time is.
No, I'm pretty concrete. Like that
Well,
bitch don't change. You can't manipulate it.
That's right. Like we can change the time all we want, but we're not changing the way that the planet works and the way, you know what I mean? We're just changing it in our minds to make it seem better when in all reality it's literally the exact same.
But doesn't it actually change your schedule a little bit? That's what makes this the biggest pain in the ass for me. I am so against daylight savings time.
For me, not really. The only thing that it changes for me, like I said, is it's in the wintertime, it's dark when I go to work and it's dark when I come home. In the summertime, it's dark when I go to work and there's a little bit of daylight when I come home. Or there's more daylight when I go home. That's the only thing it really changes for me. I still got to be at work for 6. Regardless if the sun comes up at 7 or it comes up at 6, I still got to be at work for fucking this time. And yeah, I didn't feel like I lost an hour or gained an hour the day that I woke up at 10 o'clock.
So you sound
It's
like sort of
actually 11.
indifferent about daylight savings time then. It doesn't matter.
Not really, but I do like the extra hour at or the extra little bit
Which
of daylight.
Fred
it
just
seems like.
finisght explaiing that we don't get an extra
No,
hour,
you don't.
right? You know,
No,
It's like-
if
it
we
just
got
seems
if
like
we
it.
got rid of daylight savings time and you wanted that extra
funny.
hour, it would just be on you to wake up. However much daylight you want to observe in your day. And okay, work days are one thing. Let's just take a Saturday that no one works though. If you don't want to experience that extra sunlight, then stay your ass in bed. If you're one of those people that wants to experience, and then get your fucking ass up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Why do I gotta change my wake up from 8 till 7 and like fuck my whole schedule up? When legitimately all you gotta do is just wake up when the sun wakes up, and if you're not a night person, go to bed the hour earlier. Like, it's just fucked up.
No, I hear you for sure. I don't know. For me, it's always kind of a bigger deal, but it's not the. I like the summer rollback or whatever. I think it's rollback in the summer, right? Like
Spring,
fallback,
fall, or
fallback.
Yeah,
Fall
spring
back.
ahead,
Okay.
fall back.
I don't like the fallback, but spring forward is okay for me. Yeah.
yeah, the fallback is. I feel like that becomes miserable.
People do complain about their sleep, like being all interrupted and everything, but an hour, really?
And I got a neighbor that lives above me that does fucking aerobics every morning at 6:30. I complain about my sleep too.
Practicing their basketball dribbling. If
Fuck
That
me.
shit doesn't change with daylight savings time either, right? Yeah.
No.
that's the thing. Those people are gonna wake up when they need to
Exactly.
wake up, regardless of the time.
Dude, I got a
You know?
piano player above my place too.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah. That's every day in the morning.
Just scroll up a little bit, Zach, so I can see more of that paragraph. When daylight saving times ends again in the spring, we'll lose an hour. That may not sound like much, but studies have linked it to increased traffic accidents, higher rates of stroke, and a bump in heart attacks. And although many people take the extra hour this weekend to indulge in walking activities, sleep experts say that time for sleep could make a significant difference in your health. Quote-unquote, consistency in the timing of when we sleep and wake up is every bit as important as the duration of time we sleep, and there is plenty of research on the adverse effects.
That's pretty crazy.
Well,
I mean, the sun is one of the major providers of vitamin D. I'm pretty sure it's like vitamin C.
No,
I think it's D.
C is what you get from orange juice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's vitamin D. And vitamin D is like super good for you. I take that shit. Oh, well, I was taking that shit every day when I was all sick and stuff. I still do need to be taking it. I've been slacking a little bit, but I've been taking D, C, and zinc ever since I got the vid there. And yeah, I like the sunlight.
In 2015, a study published in Sleep Medicine, researchers compared the rate of strokes during the week after daylight savings to the rate 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after. They found the rate was 8% higher in the first 2 days after the shift, and people with cancer were 25% more likely to have a stroke than during other times of the year. People over 65 were also 25% more likely.
That's actually crazy. It's crazy.
You ever heard of
2019
sleep medicine?
A 2019 report found a higher risk of heart attack after both time changes, particularly during daylight savings. Interruptions to cardiac rhythm can also impair focus and judgment. A 2020 holy fuck, they do a lot of studies on this. A 2020 study found fatal traffic accidents increased by 6% during daylight savings time.
That's retarded.
Never really been a fan of daylight savings time.
I just think
Both
it's
ways.
useless.
Yeah.
It's just pointless.
Yeah, I don't know what use it's for. Like, is it to adjust with the stock market or
No,
something
I think
like
it's
that?
for the
or,
farm.
you
I
know?
think it was in
What I
essentially
always heard
for the
was that
farmers.
the farmers got more working hours. than they
Farmers.
did.
Exactly.
Oh.
They
But
could,
like, bitch, get yourself up at 4 instead of 5. That's not my fucking problem.
but I think it has to do with the sunlight.
Yeah, the sun. Yeah, if the sun starts. When I worked at a golf course, we started when the sun came up because that's when the frost on the greens would.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
if the fucking sun came up at 5, guess what time I started work?
Yeah,
5. If the sun didn't come up till 6, guess what time I started work? 6.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So if you're a fucking farmer and the sun all of a sudden wakes up at 4, rises at 4, wake your ass up at 4. Why does my clock gotta go to 4 a.m. because you gotta wake up at 4?
But with that being said, who's to say that maybe they aren't trying to, with all these studies that they're doing, maybe they aren't trying to make people sick from daylight savings. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know, man. Something to think about. I don't think they want.
Well, here you go. In
want people to be
1915, the
healthy.
German government began brainstorming ways to save energy for battle during the First World War. During that time, they needed their citizens to reduce the use of artificial light and conserve. So maybe the German government figured it out in 1915. It was unhealthy. And everybody's just population controlling. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. Well, I mean, the healthcare system doesn't make money off of healthy people, so I don't know. They make money off of sick people, so the more sick people, the more money you make. And by the sounds of this, motherfuckers be getting sick after daylight savings time or fall back, spring ahead, or whatever. People be getting sick, so I'm sure that's not the reason why,
I think they should knock it off.
but
No.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that they should just get rid of it. We all stay at the same time for forever and
Fuck those farmers.
whatever. But remember, no farmers, no food. I don't know how many stickers I see on the south end that like cars driving. They all have this sticker that says "No farmers, no food," and it's got like a big farm tractor on it. I got no idea why all these people have it, but it's like almost like a cult, man. I remember when I
That's
was
because you live in a, how do I say this? The area of town in which you live in is very populated by people from India.
that is true. Yes.
And in India, a little while ago, there was big protests over farmers. And I don't 100% know what it was
okay.
about. Zach does.
No, I don't know what it's about. But on that note, I know this is a bit random, but speaking about the protests in India, so 2 years ago, I think when they did it, the farmers were blocking the roads and not allowing people to go and leave. And Justin Trudeau at that time said, we'll always support people's right to express their freedoms. And then when we started blocking truckers, he did the complete opposite.
I did see that.
This
But
is-
yeah, so they almost kind of stole that flex from Indian farmers. I don't know what the beef was, why the farmers were protesting, but that's why you see that around your neighborhood.
It's crazy how there's that double standard. Justin Trudeau is down with, oh, I'll support all of those guys, but then as soon as it comes to us doing it, we're domestic terrorists.
Well, yeah, when you've done brownface, you got to make up to that part of the world, you know?
Pretty much.
You got to make up for fucking...
But Amarjeet's buddies, Amarjeet Sohi is brown, and he's buddies with fucking Justin Trudeau.
He doesn't have a spine, that's all.
What's that?
He doesn't have a spine, that's all.
No, none of them do. They're all those guys are in cahoots. They all want that liberal NDP government, which is not good for Canada, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it says that the Indian government was going to put in some laws that the government had enacted to overhaul the country's agricultural sector. So the government was going to take over the farming sector, and the farmers were like, "Buddy, get fucked." It was not in dispute that India's previous system, which incentivized farmers to grow a huge surplus of grains, needed to be fixed. The farmers feared that the haste with which the laws were passed and the breadth of the changes they involved would send crop prices plunging. Mr. Modi, which was the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi's government had argued that introducing market forces would help fix the system. So who knows, but that's where our truckers kind of got it from, because they did the gridlock in India, and then they actually won. It took like a year, though, I'm pretty sure.
It's a pretty wild story, actually. 15% of the... sorry, I can't. I'm going to have to cut that out. So I guess it's no to daylight savings time then for us.
Yeah, daylight saving time's ridiculous. 52 lizards and snakes found hidden in man's clothing, arrested. Go back up. The horned lizards, snakes among the vehicles were seized by officers. A 30-year-old U.S. man's attempt to smuggle 52 reptiles, including 43 horned lizards and 9 snakes, at the San Yristo border was foiled as Customs and Border Protection officers nabbed him. The live reptiles were found tied up in small bags and concealed in the man's jacket, pants, pockets, and groin area.
Pants?
He drove a 2018 GMC.
Oh my God!
He drove a 2018 GMC truck and arrived at the border crossing at 3 a.m. on February 25th. That's where he fucked up. He had to go in peak hours.
Yeah.
Not 3 a.m.
And what is the make and model of the vehicle?
Yeah.
Any relevance?
Yeah. Why couldn't you just say he drove up to the thing? Yeah.
Curious as to why he was trying to smuggle these in. What does he
Well,
want?
the exotic pet distribution or whatever is a really lucrative business. You know.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. People will collect anything nowadays. You know.
That's true.
Yeah. And exotic pets, yeah, it's a big industry, you know.
How exotic
Like,
are these
have you guys
lizards?
seen Tiger King or any of that stuff?
Yeah.
There you go, you know. Yeah.
I'm just curious how exotic these lizards are. Can't you just go to Mexico and fucking get a bearded lizard and
Well,
can't
taking
you
them,
just go to the
smuggling them in
pet
through
store and buy a
customs
bearded
is
lizard?
different, right? Yeah. I remember in Australia when I flew in there, they literally ripped my bag open because they were convinced that I had something like that was alive in my bag. It was just I think it was a razor that was going off or something, you know? And they're like, "Do you have anything from Canada that's alive in your bag?" I said, "No, I'd be an idiot if I did because it would be dead by now." You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, there were really strict quarantine laws, like, you know, for like certain places, especially now too, right? Yeah. So I'm not surprised that the man was arrested and maybe charged with smuggling animals for profit, right?
Yeah, I would assume it was for profit.
Yeah. Well, why else would you do it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that was a great fact. I got to thank our producer Zach for that one.
Moving on to the world of sports, did either of you watch the Bahrain Grand Prix this morning?
I did watch it. I'm a big F1 fan. I like to follow F1 pretty closely.
That's the first major race of the season, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Normally they hold it in Australia. I'm not too sure why they didn't have it.
They do that in
Australia.
Melbourne, right?
Yeah, Melbourne, yeah. Normally that's the first race of the season.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they changed it this year. It's in Bahrain this year. And, yeah, seemed kind of...
Well, I'm
I
a
didn't
fan
really look
too.
into that too much.
Yeah, I like Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, maybe I'm
yeah.
drinking some Kool-Aid there, but I am a fan. Yeah.
He's a great driver.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had the best car for better part of 5 years, 6 years, and nobody's really even come close in those 6 years or 5 years or whatever it was. Actually, I think there were 7 times.
There's talk about GOAT,
Seven-time
maybe,
champions.
but I know Schumacher was a hell of a driver too.
Yeah, no,
but
I think Lewis Hamilton. I personally, I never really watched Schumacher. I was not really into
Yeah,
it.
it was, yeah.
But I think Lewis Hamilton's got the most race wins, the most titles as a driver, most championship titles. Yeah, I think he's got it by far. But this season looks a little different than past seasons. Ferrari
I did hear today that today was his 183rd or 180 something podium in his career.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton.
Unreal.
and I don't think very many other drivers even have close to that.
That's brilliant. Yeah, amazing.
He's also a good-looking bloke after he got that hair transplant.
Yeah.
No kidding, hey? Yeah.
He used to have a receding hairline pretty good. Look right there, yeah.
Yeah. LeBron's got to go see his guy.
Yeah, he makes his way to Turkey. Look at that hairline. Damn. That's worse than me.
Almost looks like Francesco's hairline.
And then
And now he's got like those thick braids. Like
Yeah,
that
man,
shit
he-
stuck.
For
like,
sure,
took.
he went to Turkey and got some hair or like some
Wayne Rooney.
plugs, something like that. But yeah, Ferrari looks good this season so far. I would like to see Charles Leclerc win a championship.
I was at Wayne Rooney's first Premier League game when
When he scored that
when he
fucking
played for
howler?
Everton against Arsenal.
When he was
Really?
bitching
It
at
was
the
the
ref and
season
then he
opener.
scored that
Yeah.
howler.
He
Oh,
did,
yeah,
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 and he
yeah.
scored in that game. It was amazing.
16-year-old Wayne Rooney
But
with a
Thierry
fucking
Henry
rocket.
scored twice in that game, right? We won.
Yeah.
Do first goal
Yeah.
in Premier League.
Yeah, this goal's sick. He's literally just
Yeah.
chatting shit to the
I
ref.
was at this game.
And then all of a sudden he turns
at
around, the
Highbury.
ball comes to him, and then fucking just rifles it.
This is something people don't have on me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to be there to see
For
Wayne
sure.
Rooney. Yeah.
Maybe check YouTube,
Yeah, definitely just go to YouTube.
because
Oh,
this
yeah,
this shit
that's-
happens all the time.
Yeah,
on,
oh
like-
yeah, British.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
block us out, man.
Yeah,
And
exactly,
they do it for
yeah.
good reason because we'll pay premium. You know, like
Yeah.
a lot of diehard fans will pay a
You're not
lot.
typing.
Yeah. First Premier League goal. Yeah, there it is.
What do you mean? That said Everton 2, Arsenal 1.
No, it was a 3-2 Arsenal win.
Remember that name, Wayne Rooney. That goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, I was at this game.
There's a couple minutes here. Was that Emmanuel Adebayor?
Oh no, this was well before that.
Freddie.
On this day,
this
19
is at Goodison Park, isn't it? Because this isn't at Highbury.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
this
think
is
this is the
Goodison
game
Park.
you're talking about.
No, definitely not. But it was.
Is that
It was the first. It was the year of the Invincibles. Arsenal went 49 games in a
2008.
row.
That was
Oh no, I'm
2008.
talking 2003 here. Yeah.
Or yeah, when did that
I
happen?
thought it was
2003 was the
Oh yeah.
Invincibles.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking too. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah, no, see, Rooney was bald when I saw him. play.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
not it.
That's not it. Yeah.
Rooney complaining to the ref.
His right first goal in Premier League.
Who got you there? I mean, it must have been the year after. Or
Right
year
there,
before,
Everton,
maybe?
Arsenal?
I don't
No,
know.
That was the
we just
same
were
one we
after.
just watched. Do Wayne Rooney every Premier League goal. It should be the first video, first goal in the compilation.
Yeah, this is Goodison Park. It's not Highbury. Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
what a
so that is
shot.
his first.
Yeah, that is
goal.
the first one. I
That's
thought it was that
unbelievable.
fucking one where he
It's
just
home to
volleyed the
Arsenal,
shit
though.
out of it.
I think it must have been like, I don't know, maybe a year later. I don't know.
arguing.
How
with
long
ref
was he
goal.
with Everton for?
I think it was a
years.
season.
Two
I think it was
seasons?
just that season.
Was
and
it?
then United.
Oh
went and
yeah, I
got
think
him.
it was with Man United. Yeah, this is the one right
That's
here. I'm pretty
unbelievable.
sure.
Oh, so
yeah.
maybe
That
it must
one's
have been his
unreal.
first United goal.
Yeah. He's arguing with the ref, looking for a call, and then literally just turned around and the ball landed right to his feet.
Rio Ferdinand, drug addict.
Was he?
There's just a story that he had a scheduled a random drug test, and
Tabloids
then
will
he.
write anything in England. Like they're way worse than the United States. in the tabloids.
Oh, for sure.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So he had a
England.
scheduled drug test, and then he missed it, and he said, "Oh, I forgot about it. I was shopping." And then a couple days later, he went and did it. So everyone thinks he had coke in his system, so he missed it on
Jesus.
purpose.
Yeah.
So let's get back to focus here, and let's talk about the big match this afternoon. What are your thoughts there, Fred? I know you're looking forward
The
to
big
it.
match being El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. First in La Liga versus third in La Liga. Real Madrid's got quite a gap, though. They'll finish first in the league, most certainly. But I think since the time that Xavi took over as a Barcelona coach, no team in Europe has taken more points than Barcelona. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that. And I don't know, man. I think they could surprise Real Madrid today.
They have been playing well. Their front line there, Aubameyang and Dembele and Traore.
Those two got to switch.
Yeah.
What Xavi's actually doing with the two of them is great.
You got Aubameyang from Arsenal.
Yeah, that's right. He's literally rejuvenated.
Yeah, I know. He needed out of North London. There was some stuff that was going on, apparently. But I don't want to speculate, but go ahead, please.
With what Xavi's doing with Dembele and Toure is that he's isolating them because they're both so fucking fast and good at dribbling that he isolates that whole side of the field. Since Barcelona can hold the ball so well, they just work the ball around on the left side of the field for a bit, and then they spray the ball out to one of them and on like a almost guaranteed one-on-one, and they're just so good at dribbling. And then he'll let one of them play for like 70 minutes and then sub the other one in. So right when you've just been getting fucking beaten one-on-one by one of them all game, all of a sudden the other one comes in and starts beating you one-on-one. So they've actually both been really successful since Xavi took over. But Dembele didn't sign a new contract, and like it's pretty much known that he's going to leave Barcelona. But now he's back playing with Aubameyang. The two of them played together in Dortmund, and they linked up really well. And that's what got Aubameyang the move to Arsenal, was like the two of them playing together so well.
Is the transfer window still open?
No. Aubameyang's telling him that he should stay. So I think if like Aubameyang can get Dembele to stay, they can get like some momentum to next year. Like Real Madrid's going to win this year. There's no ifs, ands, doubts about that. But next year, I think the title race might be back on, which is
a bit closer.
Super exciting. That being said, there's a certain guy named Kylian Mbappe that might beg to differ. That'll be in Madrid next year, but that guy right there, Karim Benzema, he's
a heck of a player.
He's probably the best player in the world right
He's
now.
not playing today, though.
Great player.
What?
He's got a calf injury.
Oh, that's fantastic news.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Go to the confirmed lineups there.
Yeah, go to that if you don't mind. I actually can't wait to watch this game. I love. You want to know what some dumb shit that we're talking about El Clasico? ESPN/TSN have the rights to La Liga in North America. I have the full sports package I can get on my little Telus box. I got all. Yeah, I have that too, but La Liga is not on DAZN. Like TSN and ESPN have the rights to them. All 5 of the TSN channels that I have is not playing El Clasico. El Clasico gets more viewers worldwide than the Super Bowl, and they're not playing it on any of their 5 channels.
That's retarded.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm going to stream it illegally,
That's
even though
insane.
I fucking pay for the fucking
there's gotta
TSN
be
subscription.
a pub around your area that would play it, right?
But what?
We'd literally have to.
How are they going to play
A
it?
satellite channel or something that they could order, you know?
They wouldn't order.
Yeah, they're going to order just for me?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's supposed to be on ESPN. They'd have to have like some Spanish channel or something. They'd have to stream it just like I did. ESPN, unless they had ESPN from the States, which might be viewing it. 'Cause they
There
have
has
so
to be
many.
some football pub around here that would show that game. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Maybe the Pint.
OTR maybe as well. I mean, they play a lot of the
I've never actually
Barclays.
been
Though.
to
They play
OTR.
Barclays. They don't really play La Liga. So,
That's
man, that's a shitty deal.
everybody
you know?
loves the Premier League, and
Yeah.
the Premier League is
Premier
just
League's
like,
where the money's at.
yeah, and I don't know. Not very much exposure is on La Liga or the French league.
You prefer the
or-
German or French league or Spanish
honestly,
league?
I prefer.
Zach, do you mind do
I
me a favor and side
prefer
googling
the
ESPN
English
Plus?
league just
British-
because
yeah.
it's more competitive.
Yeah.
But I like to follow Ronaldo around as he's the best player ever.
Fair enough. Yeah. Mine is Thierry Henry. of
I
course.
heard you.
Yeah. yeah.
So it looks like it's not even going to be on main ESPN. You have to go to this ESPN Plus, which it looks to be ESPN streaming service. So maybe I got to buy this.
It said it was only $6.99. So
Live right now, Nottingham Forest and Liverpool. Ooh.
Quarterfinal of the FA Cup. I wonder what the score is in that game.
Golf's also on. Didn't know that. Well,
Valspar
I should have.
Championship.
known
I mean,
that
in a
around
couple
every
of weeks,
weekend.
we're gonna have to talk a little bit about the Masters, right?
Yeah. Where is the next one at?
The Masters.
Yeah.
So is it the same place, man?
Yeah. Well, I don't know which is the next event.
Isn't there like 4 of them? or
Oh,
something?
it's in a couple. Oh, the next event I think is the Honda, and then the Masters.
The Masters. Yeah. Which course? Which course is that one at?
So is it Augusta?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
7th to the 10th. Zach, do we have fun facts today?
I have one fun fact.
Sure.
Well, it's not so much fun, but it is very interesting.
It's a fact, nonetheless.
But yeah. So the
Some technical difficulties here, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
all good.
Hello. Okay, I'm back in. Okay, I'll just cut that part out. It's okay. So, fun fact for today is about fruit, which I don't know, but that's what it is about.
Cool.
So, more specifically, we'll talk about bananas. So, the bananas we all know and love are in fact a hybrid of 2 other plant species. It has no seeds and has only been able to reproduce with the aid of farmers, so it cannot grow wild or on its own and needs
Really?
help. The farmers remove and transplant part of the plant's stem in order to create our favorite yellow fruit, or my favorite. And for more on your... Oh, never mind. Bananas go through a process that's scientifically called negative geotropism. What that means in layman's terms is that as bananas grow, they become too heavy for the plant and start sinking towards the ground. So the curve in the banana is due to the fruit's dogged pursuit of the rays of the sun. So yeah, the banana is actually curling up against its own weight, much like you would in your Pilates class, Pierre, in an effort to get more sunlight. So what do you guys think about that?
That's pretty
How do you
cool.
know about my Pilates class?
Everybody knows.
Attaboy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like
Very cool.
I would say that's more or less just like all plants, or like I know a sunflower will like if
Follow the sun.
Yeah, and if it's like facing one way, it'll like if the sun's over here, it'll eventually like I'm pretty sure it'll eventually like turn around and like face its sunflower to the sun so it gets more light. It's just like weed plants. When I was growing weed plants, like you could see the leaves. The leaves would be
They reach for what they want.
they reach for what they want. Yeah, man. Like if you forget to water your plants for a couple days or whatever, they're like droop down. Then all of a sudden you water them and they're literally like boom and like,
And respond to sun with the photosynthesis.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's super cool how that works for sure. Nature's pretty sweet like that.
So, Zach, are we going to play a little Would You Rather before we wrap this up, or what?
Yeah, I have one would you rather for you guys, but it's not as
That's
invasive into your personal lives
That's
as
cool.
the last couple have been.
Technically, this is the first one.
Technically, this is the first one.
All right.
Okay, so would you rather for today would you rather lose your ability to speak for the rest of your life or your ability to hear for the rest of your life? Which one would you rather lose and why?
I would rather to lose my ability to speak, because hearing is like everything in my opinion. If you can't hear, your awareness is gone. For the most part, in my opinion, your awareness is gone. You can always learn sign language. You can always write stuff down if you can't speak. Whereas if you hear, you're like, you look at somebody who's talking to you and it's like, yeah, I don't know what you're saying, man, because I can't hear you. You know what I mean? Or just like if you're driving, or like, I don't know if you've ever driven with a set of earphones in or like earbuds. It's literally like, it's fucking dangerous in my opinion. You're
Big
like,
time.
you're looking around, you can't hear anything. Like, you can't really hear too much
Well, if you
in the
if,
vehicle
if
anyway.
you can't
but-
hear, you can't speak properly anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't even hear yourself talk.
That is
it's
true.
always on an off. Like, have you heard a deaf person speak?
Yeah,
before, you know?
their speech is impaired for sure.
Yeah.
If you lost your hearing, though, I don't think it would affect yours. If you had
You
both,
might know the tone in your voice.
to
yeah.
like if you were like 18 and you lost your ability to hear, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to talk normally. I think those deaf people learn to speak while deaf.
I think for the record, I'm going to agree with Nico, though, on that one. I'd rather not be able to speak than hear.
Yeah, I feel like you can get away
Definitely.
with a lot more not being able
Definitely.
to speak.
Yeah. And you learn sign language, stuff like that. You adapt, right?
Yeah,
Just like
for
anything
sure.
else.
Not to mention, like, if you're over there, like if you're playing soccer, for instance, like
Right.
you literally have to be watching everybody or everything. You can't just be, yo, Fred, when he's like, just not even looking at you because he can't fucking hear you. You
But
know
I
what
do
mean?
anyway.
Hey, set play, Sandman.
Right?
How are you supposed to learn
Exactly,
that, you know?
exactly.
Like,
You can't fucking hear anything, so it's just like, yeah.
There's definitely been deaf athletes though, so you would just have to do it by fucking.
You just
can
got to
make
be
that
well
work.
aware.
Well, what would you rather? I mean, you didn't really make it official.
I don't even know, man. I talk a lot. If I
Yeah.
couldn't talk, I'd lose my fucking mind.
No, I'm the same
That
way.
is another
a little
thing,
bit.
too.
Yeah, I have a
You
big
know
mouth.
me.
I'm sure a lot of people would love it if I stopped talking. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, Nico knows me. He knows I like to fucking talk. Sometimes I can tell I'm annoying him, and he's just listening to me because he knows I want to talk. So if I couldn't fucking talk, I'd lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah, I
Look at that,
it's
Jim
a tough
Kites.
call.
He
That's a
played in the
good would you
NHL.
rather. Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks. There was a deaf UFC fighter too. What was that guy's name? Nico?
Matt Hamill. Yeah, I
Oh, right
remember
there,
him,
yeah. So like you could do it. I mean, that being said, you could do it without being able to speak as well.
I feel
I
like
don't know, man. That's a tough one.
I feel like the learning curve, not being able to hear, might be a little bit more than not being able to speak. Just because.
Like you said, you could just write.
And it's
you
so
could just
weird
write
how
like a-
how hand in hand those two things go to. It's
That
just,
is true,
It's like
yeah.
splitting hairs. You know what I mean? Like
you could just
who
keep your
knows?
phone with you, right? Type it in, text to talk
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So. Yeah.
until
no,
it came time to
We
sexy time. You just texting. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
we gotta find a stream for
With
this
your
You got
game.
one of those buttons.
Yeah.
One of those
Yeah,
things.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. Oh.
We gotta find
oh,
a stream
oh.
for this game. Honestly.
Oh yeah, yeah. What do you call it? I get most of my streams. Hopefully they don't get shut down from this. Buff Streams is buffstreams.pro.
I used to use Live Row Sports.
Crack streams.
I used to have First Row Sports.
First
I would
Row,
say-
Live Row,
Yeah.
whatever. It's all they have to change their domain like every week.
Yeah,
right?
they get shut down.
Yeah.
I found that when I used those First Row Sports, I felt like I'd have to refresh a lot for the most part.
Yeah, me
but
too. The buffering was crazy.
The race that I watched today, like, it was perfect. I didn't have to refresh. Actually, that's a lie. I refreshed once. Yeah, I refreshed once, and otherwise the quality was perfect. Everything was good. I was like,
lovely.
man, this is a sick stream. Yeah, so
And you won some money. Yeah.
I won some money. Yeah, I won.
That's good.
What did I win? $9.
There you go.
$11. I won $11, baby.
Couple cups of coffee, buddy.
$11.
Yeah.
If
Look at
I
these
w-
big coffees.
Right? If my deposit would have went through when I deposited it instead of having to wait a half an hour, I
Yeah.
would have won like probably like $45.
That would have been all right.
Yeah. When at first the bet was 2.6 for Charles to win, then when I put the bet in, it was only at a 1.5. So, and then there was a couple points in the race there where Max Verstappen took the lead, and then Charles came right back. That happened twice, and then I was just like, "Fucking
Good race.
yes." Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a really
Yeah.
good race for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see that Red Bull got 0 points after their after last
Well, after
year's
they drink all that
shenanigans.
stuff, they crash, right? Don't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Last year's shenanigans was fucked up in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Want to lead us out of temptation and deliver us from evil there, Fred?
Yeah, that's been another the inaugural episode of 7 Days Makes 1 Week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll join you next week. Same bad time, same bad
Catch-
channel.